Hello, I'm Joe Humphreys. I play the ukulele, and today let's learn how to sing and strum. And no, not just print something off Ultimate Guitar, like I have done here, but really make the song your own and have fun and be able to perform it. Today, I've picked Can't Help Falling in Love with You, which is, I think, one of the most popular songs to play on ukulele, especially singing and strumming. Let's break down what we're gonna do. So first, let's play the As Is song, as printed off of Ultimate Guitar. Then let's change the strumming pattern to what we like more, what we think fits the song a little better. And then try the song again. And then let's throw in drum fills, and then personalize our arrangement a bit more. And then perform it. So alright, so first make sure you have your music where you want it. I have it on a music stand right in front of me so I can look at it if I need to. Make sure you have a pencil. You're going to want the pencil to be able to mark in things you want, because you can practice it to memorize it, but you're not going to remember everything just going in. So it's a lot easier, just make it easier for yourself. So, let's try the song. Wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you. All the chords seem to be correct, which is not always true, but this one has it down, which is good. I messed up some of the chords while playing it through, but that's okay, that's what practice is for. Alright, so first, let's change the strumming pattern. I feel like this got very monotonous, very 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 as the song went along. So let's see what we can do to fix that. This is a 6/8 ballad, which just means it's in 6/8 time, which means there's 6 beats per measure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it's a slow song, making it a ballad.
Slow and emotional song. And it's a slow and emotional song, making it a ballad.
Alright, so these kinds of songs tend to have an accent on beat 4, which is actually written into the original strumming pattern. And that's where the drummer would hit the snare drum. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, kind of thing. So the other beats, he is hitting the drum, but not as strongly. He's usually hitting the ride cymbal just very softly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And accenting beat 4 with the snare, and actually accenting beat 1 with the kick drum, though not quite as big of an accent. So you get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 kind of feel. So maybe we should translate that into our strumming on the ukulele. So, how will we get a weak ride sound? Well, we don't have to hit all the strings on the ukulele for one thing. So let's try just hitting the G string of whatever chord we're fingering. So if it's C, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now let's bring in the kick and snare. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you're still putting a little bit of emphasis on beat 4, but you just naturally get that kick and snare sound. Let's try the song again, but with that strum pattern. Wise men say only fools rush in. I think it sounds a lot better already, but still, if you play the whole 2.5 minute, 3 minute song that way, it will get repetitive. So this is where we start to have fun. So first thing, going back to the drummer, he isn't just constantly going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. No, he's gonna do some drum fills where the singer isn't singing. So a big gap in the vocals is in between the verse and the chorus. Falling in love with 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, like. So you have 12 beats where you're not singing, there's no new words, and you're stuck on one chord. So that means you should mix up your right hand a little bit to make things a little interesting. So usually for a drum fill, there's things called toms. You're hitting the ride, kick, and snare for the main beat. And you have all these toms here, which usually really only get used for these fills. So he'll hit these in kind of a little bit more exciting rhythm to drive it into the chorus, where he might actually go back to the same pattern as the verse. But it'll feel more energetic because he did that little fill going into it. So let's try that kind of rhythm on ukulele. We don't have different pitched toms, but we can strum at different we can strum full chords at different velocities, to bring in a more electronic music term, to make it sound a bit more that way. So let's try it. Falling in love with you, like a river flows. Alright, the main thing there, it doesn't really matter what rhythm you use. In fact, I've already kind of forgotten what rhythm I used. Oops. But the main thing is you want it to swell going into the chorus. You want it to feel like it's getting louder, it's getting more energetic. So make sure you have that. You can strum harder, you can strum louder to make that effect happen. So that's a big part of the drum fill. It's leading into something exciting. But that big break between the verse and chorus is not the only place where there's a kind of awkward pause in the words. Wise men say 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You have the same length of time in the verse where there's nothing going on. Again, you're stuck on one chord. And there's nothing much going on. But you're not leading into a new section, you're still within the verse. So you don't want it to be as exciting. So you want to just throw in a little bit of just kind of filling in the gaps, really. Wise men say, only fools. So what I did there was I just accented beats 3 and 5 a bit more with some extra strums. So that's a little something you can do. Main thing is when you're doing little fills like that during the verse or during a section, you don't want to break away from the main rhythm of that section. The main rhythm there is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's very metronomic. So you don't want to break away from that. Let's try the whole verse that way, and let's go into the chorus. Each time you can make the fills a little bit more exciting. Main thing is the one leading into the chorus needs to be the big thing, the big moment, because it leads into a whole nother exciting new thing. So let's try it. Wise men say, only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you. Shall I stay? Would it be a sin if I can't help falling in love with you? Like a river flows surely to the sea. So see what I did there were built in, and I just got into it, and it was so much easier to sing the chorus out much stronger. And also another thing is, I didn't put a fill between every single gap. You don't need to do that. That can kind of clutter the song. So just do it where it feels necessary, really. And you might have to run the song multiple times. This is what your pencil's for. So mark in where you want the little fills to be, and just leave it blank when you're just going to keep on that little break. So that's the general idea of the song. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 verses, and we have 2 choruses. Let's make them different. And while we're doing that, let's make them a bit more personal too. So for my own voice, the key of C works pretty well. Maybe it doesn't work that well for you, so you might need to transpose the chords. This might be a good time to do that. You want to really bring out where the dramatic moments in the piece are. And the choruses are dramatic, like a river flows. It just feels more dramatic to me. It's very certain versus the verses are only fools rush in. Shall I stay? Would it be a sin? It's very questioning. And the melody kind of reflects that, but the chorus is dramatic. It goes in strong. So you want the choruses to be strong, but you also want the verses to get stronger too, because the first verse is questioning. The second verse is take my hand, my whole life too. I can't help falling in love with you. That's a lot stronger than should I stay? Would it be a sin? So you need to bring it out, and also it repeats. The third verse is also the fourth verse. So take my hand, my whole life too, goes to another chorus and comes back to take my hand, take my whole life. So you want to make that more dramatic. You're repeating the plea, I can't help falling in love with you, and that repeats at the end too. So when something repeats, make it stronger, especially in a short song like this. So let's try that. So a few things. I went ahead and changed the strumming pattern where it was supposed to be more dramatic. And that's kind of like adding the drum fills in. There's still the basic rhythm is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. But you can make it a bit more energetic with your strumming. And that's kind of like just adding in the fills. You want to keep in mind where the high points are again. So the chorus is definitely a high point. But you notice I brought down the second chorus a little bit and compared to the verses. Because the verses are stronger. Take my hand, take my whole life too. Is stronger than some things are meant to be. Like some things, okay, are meant to be. Our love is meant to be, is what the verse says. That's a lot more direct. So we need to bring that out. Let's try that, shall we? The first verse grows into the chorus. Then the chorus builds into the second verse, because that's where he becomes more certain. Some things are meant to be. Our love is meant to be. Take my hand, take my whole life too. So you want that to grow. And the chorus repeats a kind of semi-uncertain sentiment. So bring it down just a little bit, not a lot. It's still a lot more certain than where you started. So bring it back down again. And then for the end, you want it to be dramatic. Build it to the end. That last, for I can't help falling in love with you, should be the high point of the song. Or at least the second to last one. The last one, you can bring it back down again just to make it a clean ending for the song. For that very last, for I can't help, I would say, just build and just leave that chord hanging. For that last, I can't, and just that, having a little line be a lot lower energy brings a lot of attention to it, because he's just been building and building and building up to that from the last chorus. Alright, so we have our arrangement. Now just a few tips on performing it. Most people probably know Can't Help Falling in Love, but if you're doing a more obscure song especially, people want to know what song it is. They might really like it and want to listen to the original. And they might really like how you did it and want to talk to you later, or want to see what you do. Or they might just want to say, hey, whatever your name is, nice job. They can't do that if they don't know who you are. And also, it's just more polite. You know, you introduce yourself to people. So, say your name, say what you're playing, and start the song. And if it helps, take a deep breath at the beginning. Wise. That way, it just helps you start stronger. And if you start strong, it helps you build momentum to keep going and finish strong. So yeah, last little arranging thing. I didn't really like the strumming chords intro, so I'm just going to start from the verse. But anyway, here's me performing Can't Help Falling in Love with You. Wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you. Shall I river flows surely to the sea, darling, so it goes. Some things are meant to be. Take my hand, take my whole life too. I can't help falling in love with you. Like a river flows surely to the sea, darling, so it goes. Some things are meant to be. Take my hand, take my whole life too. I can't help falling in love with you. For I can't help falling in love with you. Thank you very much. I'm Joe Humphreys, and I play the ukulele. Hope you enjoyed this little bit of Can't Help Falling in Love, and hope that helps with your singing and strumming. But as you can probably tell, I'm not really a singer. So next time, let's see what we can do just on 4 strings. Until then, stay tuned and make sure to keep strumming.